Hello, everybody. It is I, Dan Arfin, back for episode 35 of the Dead Money podcast. I actually think it's pretty gay every time I say what number episode this is, so I think I'm going to discontinue that for a little while, at least. Now, this, of course, begs the question, why not just edit that out entirely? Well, if I did that, then you wouldn't get to know that there ever was a discontinuation process that was enacted, so that made it worth doing one more time. Anyway, we'll get to Will Kassouf in a second and whatever other stupid shit that might come to mind today. Hopefully nothing, actually. Although I've read recently that it's bad to hope for anything. But not that you should be hopeless, because that's also a type of hope. It's just the other side, but I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't have to have a show about doing nothing. In fact, I shouldn't, because it would fail the instant I tried. So it's not going to be that. Fuck. I'm high. Well, anyway, yeah, so Will Kassouf. Well, not yet, actually. Let's talk about what I said earlier. I said it was gay to note that this is episode 35, and it is gay, but it's gay because gay means like being overly perky. That's like what the non-homosexual dictionary definition of gay kind of is, at least to me. Like if someone walks through the door and you greet them all fucking, oh, hi, oh, it's so great, oh, like acting like this is the happiest moment of your life, even though it clearly isn't, because it shouldn't be. That's like a gay thing to do. Like you show up and they act that way when you come in, and it's just like, yo, they're just being so gay right now. So when I tell you, oh, this is episode 35, that's a super gay thing to be mentioning. I mean, you can see when you fucking open it that this is episode 35. What am I saying? Oh, look at me, I have 35 episodes. So what? You know something? An elephant will always have a way bigger cock than me. Probably. So, whatever. Anyway. All 35 gay episodes and all, here we are. The 2025 World Series of Poker is winding down. We're almost there. I haven't played in over 2 weeks because fuck this. The main event final table this year includes Mike the Grinder Mizrachi once again. He was in it there, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. And this woman, Leo Margetts, I think that's her name. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I suppose it could be pronounced Margay for all I know. Wouldn't that be fitting? Anyway, she's from Barcelona, España. España is Spanish for Spain. So Leo Margetts, she's at the final table. And the first woman to do so in 30 years, so good for her. Other than those two, I don't give a shit about anyone else who's in. I haven't watching anything. I don't know. I don't care. I haven't seen a name I recognize among the deep runners. And I don't know how many names. It feels like a couple hundred. But whatever it is, it's been a total dud in that regard. There have been plenty of years in Vegas where at least one local player that a lot of people know about runs very far into the tournament. But the main event is just this. It's just some kind of tournament. I mean, it's really something. It generates some kind of excitement. And you always feel FOMO just from watching it, because you watch this stupid thing and you see how many fucking dad-looking regular schnooks who are at the final table of this shit, and you're just like, yo, that could have so easily been me, and it's the damn truth. The main event has been grandfathered all along all these years as the main event because it's still the $10,000 buy-in event it was in the early 70s. Even though back then they didn't even get a full table the first year. They had like 6 players. And that's kind of the way it should be. I mean, maybe more than 6, but whatever. I mean, the point is, it was a small turnout of only the world's very best. That's what a main event you would think would look like, and it used to. But then it gets all this popularity because it's called the main event, and now everyone wants to play it, so naturally it just becomes a fucking shit show. So while it is still the main event, since that's what they call it, To me, it's just a great fucking tournament. I mean, because you got what is it? I think you get 60K starting chips or 50. I think it's 60. I mean, then you got 2-hour levels. The levels go up very slowly. I mean, this tournament has everything a poker player could ever hope for. I mean, it is just it almost doesn't even seem like a tournament in some way when you consider the structure. But to me, the main event are these high roller tournaments, whether it's 100,000, 50,000, whatever I don't even know what they're playing for. I just know it's a lot. That's the main event. Because what did the main event used to be? A super huge buy-in where hardly anyone even showed up to it, and most of those who did, were the very best the world could offer. At $10,000 in 1975, which is a few years after the main event started, is worth about $60,000 now. So the new age true main event, whichever buy-in you pick, has gone well beyond what the World Series main event did in the early 70s. I mean, imagine if, like, instead of 10,000, what if it was like 20,000? You know, that's closer to like that now when you equate it all. But whatever the number is, it all begs the question of how many schmucks would throw 60,000 at a tournament today with elites all over it. Who's going to just do that? I mean, hardly anyone's doing that. Just like no one was doing it in the 70s until time went on and the buy-in stayed the same and people became more and more aware of poker. So you started getting more and more people. And before you know it, pretty much every asshole from Jackpot, Nevada to Kalamazoo is making a fucking deep run. And that really is the name of a town, if you didn't know. Jackpot. It's way up north. Kind of a fitting name for a place in this state. I never heard of Jackpot until I met a woman who was from there. Little did I know that just because you hit the jackpot doesn't mean you hit the jackpot. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No, he didn't. Just kidding. It is an exciting tournament, though, no matter which way you look at it. And when you're watching the first few days of it in poker rooms or streaming it for free somehow, you realize how badass it would be if it were you that everybody was watching. Because it is presented with such drama that just everything you do just seems so calculated and so deeply involved and thought out and just all this incredible creativity and craftiness that no one could ever imagine having anywhere close to the amount that these guys have. And it's all because it's the main event. Everything just looks so spectacular. And tons of regulars who don't play know they're more than good enough to make a deep run. You know, we all know how lucky you have to get, but it's a far greater question of variance than of skill because there's plenty of dead money in the field and plenty of time to allow things to happen. So when this year is the first year I thought about playing it, but I'm worried about the fatigue and getting worn out a lot because I don't play those kinds of hours. I mean, you're playing 12, 13-hour days every day. I never fucking do that even once for a while. So it's like, I'm worried how much I'm going to be compromised. I mean, if I want to play, I should start preparing now for next year's main event before this one has ended. That would be the sensible thing to do. But anyway, you know, speaking of dead money, since I mentioned it, just quickly, it's pretty ridiculous you have to pay to watch these tournaments, you know, like on Poker Go. I mean, there's really only so many people who even watch poker, and there's only so much poker worth watching all year. I mean, the ones who do watch are so into it that it seems like the whole world is paying attention, but most people couldn't care less. So you would think you wouldn't have to pay to watch something like that, but you do, so whatever. Anyway, so Will Kassouf. Wow. What is the deal with that guy? I mean, I've seen footage of this rather eloquent Englishman going completely crazy at the table many times after getting extremely ornery and badgering other players in all kinds of ways and defending it as speech play, like he's trying to get reads on them. And yeah, all right, maybe he does achieve that as some sort of result, but I don't know. I think he's just trying to just dislodge the whole agreements of the game. He's trying to just cause things to get erratic. I mean, him and Martin Cabral, these two fucking guys, I mean, It's crazy that one of them plays against such world-class competition all the time, meaning Cabral, because he plays in those high roller tournaments and he's done well. But both of them, I mean, they're both pretty good at playing dumb, but at the same time, anyone's only going to be so good at that because, look, they're not fooling anybody. Maybe in some twisted, fucked up way, they actually do somewhat believe that nothing about any of their antics at the table are inappropriate, and they may be able to articulate some sensible points about how they're either being mistreated or that others aren't being restricted as heavily as he is, but none of that is even the point once you go past the point of where you are just being a total fucking cunt shit asshole. In my opinion, of course. But that's what this fucking guy Kassouf is doing. I mean, if anyone thinks his punishment of a 1-year ban from the World Series of Poker is too much, or that he wasn't given enough warning before the 1-round penalties he received on not one but 2 occasions in the latter stage of the tournament, to these people I'm going to say, look, this is all just years in the making. He's just getting punished all at once for all the things he used to do, but would always get away with because it hadn't become such a shit show yet. His reputation hadn't been established so rigidly for so long like it is now and the way he wanted it. I mean, these guys are like, they're so... It's beyond desperation for attention. There's just like something else happening because this doesn't make any sense that people would behave this way. I mean, look, if this was the first time he ever acted like this out of nowhere, whether he was new to poker entirely or had been quiet all these years and now suddenly decided to go nuts, yeah, he's going to get a lot more warnings. But, like, he used up his fucking warnings. It's like, it's as though he seems to think that, you know, you always start fresh. You start over each event. It's like, no. Like, people know who you are. They know what you're like. Your behavior has become predictable. So that is why, I mean, he's getting these quick hooks, or whatever we should call them, just quick penalties, sudden penalties, drastic penalties. He was saying that someone threatened him physically and that they don't get any punishment. I mean, well, if that's actually true, I mean, those people should at least be spoken to. I mean, you know, if they're only threatening him because they've been badgered for hours, I mean, can't threaten anybody, though. You know what? Okay, look, everybody else should still be treated with the same rules that he should be treated with. They shouldn't be allowed to start getting away with things. But, you know, the floor, he felt he was being made a target of. And, like, yeah, they are making a target of you. And because you put a target on your back, you want it to be a target. I mean, it's like you're trying to get them to do something so that you can say they're not allowed to do it. I mean, it seems to be what these guys, Martin Cabral and Kassouf, are trying to achieve. It's like they just want you to get pissed off and come at them for something, but then feel that they don't even have the right to be doing it. I mean, if you're going to make a target of yourself the way he has, I mean, what are you acting surprised for when they start responding this way? But as far as really why they want the attention, I mean, I don't know. That could go 100 different directions. I mean, you could speculate it, but they obviously want to be noticed. Like, they're not just arguing. Like, they want people to argue with them so they can argue back. They think they're smarter than everybody and will always be able to say the most clever thing that can't be refuted or topped, and that seems to be what they're after. That's my read. Yeah, maybe they say, or they just want to put you on tilt more than anything else, but either way, they're creating a game within a game that, like, it's like nobody wants to fucking do this, you know. But and then they act surprised when people don't like it. They know they're not gonna like it, but they still act surprised because, like, they have, like, the right to, you know. They're like, what? Yeah, why is he getting so pissed off at me? It's like, I didn't even. It's like that's kind of how they're always doing it. So it's just they're playing this narcissistic game, getting the clock called on you so routinely that the WSOP has to institute a separate rule just for you, to give you, like, this automatic expedited clock. I mean, what the fuck is this? It's like, are we in a fucking mental hospital? What kind of a fucking person shows up to a tournament and can't comport themselves in such a way that they are at least held to the same rules as everybody else. I mean, these guys are like that fucking kid you went to school with in second grade. They're just like always getting themselves in trouble somehow. And usually over the most dumbest, meaningless things that they're complaining endlessly about. No one cared to think about for more than a second except for them. And we all kind of just stand around scratching our head wondering what the fuck is even happening right now. But this is different when you're in second grade. I mean, we're adults here. This is the World Series of Poker main event. So it must be quite the experience to play with Will Kassouf. I mean, his resume indicates he's a pretty skilled player. I mean, how much his bullshit actually has to do with his success, who knows? But I'm guessing less than he thinks, or that it's capable of helping him. But all this shit he did to himself, the suspension, I mean, I don't care if they never let him back in. This is a gentleman's game. If someone has to tell you repeatedly for years to act like a fucking just grown-ass man, why the hell should you even be allowed into the joint? I mean, there's a time and a place to throw every book that's been written, and it's guys like him, guys who just want to be the Joker, just want to wreak endless havoc and just get themselves into more and more situations where they can cause more and more havoc. And poker is just an environment that seems to suit them for it because it's a game about people where, and it's a language, the poker language is something they're able to understand, so it's just like it's a haven. This is the best thing in the world for them to be doing. Then you got Jack Ethel telling Kassouf, "Don't follow me, or you're disqualifying you." I mean, they weren't giving him much leeway, and I'm sure they're hoping they don't have to do this. But and then Kassouf starts going on and on and on about being reasonable. I mean, funny coming from him, but it's just years and years of this. Like, people think he's being treated unfairly. I mean, it's years and years of this that he gets just a quick, instant punishment. I mean, you're not starting with a clean slate. But it's years in the making. Same as when a person jumps off a bridge. They don't just wake up one day and do that. The thought of it was years in the making, probably decades. And this is years in the making too. I mean, it's just a different thing. He wanted the reputation, he got it, and now he's being held to it so strictly that now it's backfiring on him, and he feels that he's entitled to not have it do that, but it is. Yeah, well, okay. Who do you have to thank for this? How fucking hard is it to just show up and play poker and just not get too snooty with other players about anything and everything all the time? I'm not saying we were in boarding school here. It's just, Jesus. Can you just play poker for a little while? I mean, is that so fucking hard to do? Like, why is Martin Cabral smearing his finger into the cards and just eyeballing the shit out of other people's cards, getting his face really close to them and standing up and looking at them? What is he doing? I mean, it's just crazy. And it was really sick when Kassouf had the 10-9, and I think the flop was 8-7-3 or something. I forget all of it. I forget the last card. All I know is Will had the open-ended to the nuts both ways, backdoor flush draw. He's bet into for 300K into whatever size pot. It was a normal bet size. Kassouf's opponent had about 2.7 million back. Will covers him, and he keeps saying, I'm not folding. And then he's trying to see his chips. He gets up, walks a few steps. Then a floor man called his hand dead after he walked away from his seat. Not from the table, just from his seat. I mean, the floor man came over because time was called, and Will's opponent was bluffing with the best hand. He only had king 5. Obviously not a spot where he's looking to get action. And now he wins this pot because Will did not stay in his seat. Now, as far as the fairness of that ruling, I mean, it's not clear to me if the floor was really allowed to do that or if they were at this point discriminating against Will Kassouf. And if that's the case, then that is going too far because I don't mind Will being penalized fast after breaking a rule. And I don't mind him getting banned because of his long-standing reputation and a history of acting like this. But if he is allowed to get up from the table while still thinking about what he wants to do, he's the only one with the decision right now. If like in a dealer or a floor person's discretionary matter, if they can determine that he's playing and he's not just wasting people's time, then you just let him do it. The clock's called and you're just going to follow with those proceedings. This is going to end within a minute. I mean, as much as everyone can't stand the guy, if he isn't breaking a rule at whatever juncture, I mean, then don't rush to punish him. I mean, he's going to break rules anyway. You don't have to call him out for something like this. Not yet. But, some customers, they're just a pain in the ass and do as much as they can get away with, but he doesn't understand he's going too far. I mean, it's just too flagrant. Him and Cabral. It's an attention grab, but they're like trying to do it by doing as much as they can to irritate others without necessarily breaking a rule, and then arguing to the death on babbling in whatever accent why it's okay for them to be doing. And it's just not something that really belongs in a game. It should not be tolerated. It's like, where would this be tolerated? If it's not going to be tolerated anywhere, then why are you tolerating in a poker tournament? So whatever, I'm glad he's suspended, banned, whatever. He deserves it. Not a stickler, but like I said, there's a time and a place where it is okay to just throw the book at somebody, and enough is enough, so fuck him. If after a year he comes back and he could just be just a little nicer, not that bad. I don't think anyone expects this guy to turn into a fucking Nobel Prize winner, but if he comes back after a year and is not that bad, then okay. But one other quick story. I have a friend in his early 20s. He's playing up in Milwaukee in a 1-3 game. He's running pretty good. Then all of a sudden the guy next to him, man much older, turns and says, "You are not a good player. You are just lucky. Never forget that." And all my friend did was laugh when he heard that, and good for him. Because what else can you do? Then he tells me this guy didn't say another word the rest of the night. Those are the only words he spoke, were the ones to him about how lucky he is and to never forget it. So I asked him, did you give him a bad beat or something? He said no, he wasn't even in those hands. He's like, he did get dealt aces and kings each in the space of 3 hands, so, that's a nice little rush. And that's what prompted this remark from that guy. So I assume, anyway. I guess you can never really know, but when he told me about getting dealt those hands, I'm like, yeah, so, it's like those things happen every day. But this is what poker does. It just makes the most hateful and whatever other fucked up sides come out. This guy just getting all after this little young white guy in his early 20s. What, he's not allowed to get dealt aces and kings? He's not allowed to fucking get dealt good hands? What the fuck? Everyone's allowed to win. And when Mike Zolka was here, I guess, 6 or 7 weeks ago, right when the series started, he kept talking about the importance of how it would just be nice to see some characters again playing poker. Personalities. That everyone we see now, it's just gotten very robotic and boring. And it's an interesting point because poker was its most colorful when it first became popular, and I think it's because no one had to be that good. The best players in the world were still making all kinds of egregious blunders that were so laughable to see that it's actually earth-shattering to think that these guys were worshipped as the best in the world. And they were. But I guess because there was so much dumb shit they could get away with and still win, they all had the time, essentially, to be these eccentric characters. And there's a lot more time required now to be good. Those guys, yeah, sure, they were the best, but it's all relative. To be the best now, you got to be way better than they were. You got to put a lot more into it. But having characters and having personality, that doesn't have to be gone. You don't have to replace personality with work. You can still have both. And I guess, Cabral and Kassouf, they just want to be the Joker, the villain. And people might ask, does poker benefit from having villains? Sort of. It's something to watch. It stands out. But there's always going to be a cost for that. And is it worth it when you got guys like Dan Smith telling Cabral, I hope you get barred, and when Kassouf acts the way he does, just going on and on and on, non-fucking stop, all the way out of the poker room, all the way into the hallway? Is this a good look for poker? Is this going to bring new money into the game, knowing that there are people who act like this? You just don't see the upside to actual villains. Villains are just villains. We're always trying to defeat the villain. It's like, do we want a world without villains, or do we always want to have the satisfaction of defeating a villain? So we're bored when there's no villains because we have no one to defeat. It's like, if you want to defeat the villain, then it would be better without villains. But ding dong, the witch is dead, at least for a year. And I think it's a good thing the World Series of Poker made an example of this behavior. I think poker benefits from the disappearance of someone like him. It'll give him the chance to realize he can afford to tone it down and be fine and still make his money. And I'm sure somewhere within he knows how to act appropriately. I mean, I think he knows how to control himself better. He just doesn't want to, just won't do it. So, it'll be interesting to see what he takes away from this. Okay. We'll see you next time.